Hello, everyone. Our movie today starts with a group of explorers entering an archaeological site. Suddenly, they find themselves in a room full of mummies, which unexpectedly come to life and start attacking them, causing chaos. To understand how they got to this point, let's go back to the beginning of human history on Earth. At that time, a group of visitors from the sky, known as Osiris to humans, appeared. They were considered gods because they brought abundant gifts, starting with the light of the sun that illuminated human life. They also shared knowledge of astronomy, architectural engineering, and culture. However, over time, it was time for payback. Osiris wanted to claim Earth for themselves, and Pharaoh, the greatest human, stood by the god Ra, the sun god, against Osiris' threats. Osiris prepared the Earth to welcome their relatives from the sky to live on Earth. This transition occurred once every 5,000 years, when the stars aligned in the same pattern as the Great Pyramid in Egypt. However, Pharaoh stole the light Osiris used, causing Osiris to go blind. Seizing the opportunity, Pharaoh imprisoned Osiris and his followers in the underground chamber beneath the pyramid. Many people anticipated that the visitors were still on their way, preparing to confront them. One of the princesses arranged for her newborn child to be taken away secretly, as he was to be the last of the bloodline. She then died, and without Pharaoh's knowledge, she was buried in a chamber inside the pyramid. This tomb had a key and a gate. When the time came, a new visitor would be greeted by the princess's statue. However, Pharaoh trusted his princess and created a key that held all the secrets, along with protective spells for the tomb. The descendants were expected to maintain these secrets to prevent Osiris from returning for revenge. If they did return, they would wreak havoc, sparing neither men, women, nor children. Only the faithful to Osiris would become gods and live with them on the planet. The time for the stars to align and punish the system approached, but the key to the heavens was lost. It became apparent that the bloodline had disappeared. Fast forward to the present time in Giza, Cairo. A doctor named Adler jokes with a female explorer after finding a buried stone. When he asks her about someone named Master Tun, she mentions he was in his tent. Adler then walks away, revealing Master Tun observing the Great Pyramid through his telescope. Master Tun explains that in just 7 days, a repeat of the events from 5,000 years ago will occur, with the pyramid serving as a mirror to the sky. When the stars align, they will be able to uncover the desired secrets. However, his assistant informs him that everything they found yesterday had disappeared. Master Tun realizes they need to expand their search. While Master Tun is on the phone, a strange-looking individual steals his staff. Later, we see Dr. Adler speaking with Dr. Mandela, who was one of Mandela's brightest students in the last 4 years, and is trusted to accompany Egypt on this important mission. Nelson Mandela said that despite the many explorations they have conducted, they have not yet found the gate through which they will enter. However, Adler told him that the princess is buried here, so surely the door is in a specific place, and they must not give up and try many times. Especially since Master Tun confirmed that history will be after 7 days only, and that they are very pressed for time. Mandela said they must expand the digging area and turn on the lights so they can work at night. However, Adler found out that the meteorological department said there is a major storm approaching the pyramid area in the next period. Then we go to the person who stole Master Tun's staff and who handed it to a stranger and also described a specific address to him. When he went to this address, he found someone named Khalifawi, and he told him that he came to him regarding the key to the sky. But Khalifawi told him that many people have talked to him at a very high price, but this person told him that he would pay him whatever he wanted and threatened him that he is a dangerous man and will never leave the key to anyone else. After seeing the money, Khalifawi decided to open his safe and take out the key. But then he told him that the price of the key would be twice the amount he brought. But to their surprise, they found Master Tun's staff with a dagger. They killed him, took the money and the key, and fled from the place. After a while, Master Tun goes to the same place, but is surprised to find that he is dead. At that moment, the person calls him and threatens him that he could hand over his walking stick to the police, which also has his fingerprints, and thus he would be imprisoned on charges of killing Khalifawi. So Master Tun asked him if he wanted money to hand over the key, but the person told him that he wanted him to participate in his operation, or he would imprison him. So Master Tun cursed him and left the place and went to a fortune teller named Claire. who began to see the future and knew without him, saying that the key is with an evil person, and also predicted the death of Master Toon, but she could not tell him. At that moment, Master Toon goes to Mandela to contact his assistant and tells her that he must go to him immediately. When he went to him, he told him that the storm revealed very important parts of the pyramid, which will make it easier for them to find the entrance. At that moment, Master Toon was very happy and told his assistant to contact his daughter Sarah in London to come to Egypt and help them. And he was very happy that Dr. Mandela was facilitating the process for him with his genius and continuous follow-up to the search operation. However, Dr. Adler was afraid for Mandela from exhaustion due to his old age, and also because he had not been sleeping well for more than 3 weeks. But Master Toon refused this talk and told him that the pyramid is an astronomical observatory for an event that will take place on Thursday, the 12th of the month. And they know that this event happens every 5,000 years, so of course they will not miss this opportunity, and he told him that there are only 3 days left and they must be inside the pyramid at that time. At night, Mandela was trying to decipher the symbols on a door in the pyramid, but he couldn't because there were damaged and missing parts. Adler insisted that he should go to rest, trying to convince him and tell Master Toon to postpone entering the pyramid for a few more days. But Mandela told him that he had planned according to his dates and it is difficult to change them. At the same time, Master Toon goes and meets the strange person, whose name is El Fads, who began to negotiate with him on the stick and imprisonment or to be a partner with them. Master Toon agreed and set another appointment and left. This is an automatic translation and may not be perfect due to the complexity of the text. Let me know if you need any specific clarifications or modifications. The next day, Sarah arrives from London and is met by a man named Ahmed, one of her father's assistants, who takes her home. When she arrives, she greets her father, but it's clear she doesn't have much affection for him, as her greeting feels cold and distant, like he's a stranger. She stands in front of her mother's picture, visibly emotional. At night, she sits alone, vowing to uncover the truth behind the following morning. The team is surprised when Mandela says to someone, "You need to rest." But he replies, "No, you're the one who should attend the conference in my place because Master Toon's research might collapse if none of us attends." Mandela promises to stick to his treatment and insists that the other person should go. Meanwhile, Sarah calls Dr. Mandela, but he tells her he's unwell and has been hospitalized. He suggests postponing the conference if necessary. Frustrated, she hangs up, unsure of what to do. However, she calls him again, saying Master Toon's presence is crucial. He replies that unfortunately, Toon won't be available and that he is filling in for him. Sarah refuses and speaks rudely before hanging up. Feeling upset, Adler prepares to leave. However, when Sarah tells her father, he advises her to keep Adler because losing him would mean halting the entire project. She apologizes to Adler and asks him to return to the hotel. Adler complies and meets an Indian archaeologist, Rahat Singh, who is upset to learn that Dr. Mandela is unwell and won't attend. Many present begin to underestimate Adler, especially Fatin, who believes Mandela's expertise is irreplaceable. Sarah intervenes, explaining that Adler is the person Mandela trusts most, having worked closely with him for the past 4 years and gained significant knowledge. Ultimately, they agree to start their work and decide to enter the tomb at dawn. At night, Sarah speaks with Adler, sharing the story of her mother's death. She explains that her mother died near the pyramids 10 years ago. The Egyptian police concluded it was a robbery, and her body was found the next morning. She also reveals that her father doesn't truly care for her, but keeps her around because she reminds him of her mother and is beneficial for this mission. The next day, when they reach the tomb entrance, Adler notices hieroglyphics warning that those who enter may never return. Master Toon dismisses the warning and insists on proceeding. At that moment, an Egyptian government official named Saeed informs Master Toon that an officer and 2 soldiers will accompany them. As they break open the first door and descend a staircase, they encounter another door. The soldiers break it down, and they enter with flashlights. The atmosphere inside feels strange and ominous, with a large wasp nest. When a soldier attempts to destroy the nest, the room fills with wasps, forcing everyone to retreat except one soldier and Sarah, who freezes in place. Adler carries Sarah out while another soldier fights the wasps with fire. The first soldier doesn't survive the attack, but his comrade narrowly escapes. After many attempts, they manage to burn the wasps and clear a path. At this moment, the story flashes back to ancient times, showing how slaves under the pharaohs placed a statue in the center of the room and set up traps. Back in the present, Master Tun explains this and warns everyone not to touch anything. However, Fitz, out of foolishness, moves the statue, triggering a trap that closes the door and seals the officer inside. Tun remarks that the pharaohs understood human greed and placed the golden statue to bait intruders into their traps. He warns everyone to stay put while they figure out their next move. But they started differently, benefiting from her terror and her efforts to escape the tomb. Yet the refusal lasted 2 years, waiting to explore the tomb. It was impossible for him to withdraw because they were afraid. Finally, Rahit suggested that Senge should help them, including an archaeologist who was surely knowledgeable about the pride of the pharaohs. He told them the secret must lie in the floor they were standing on. He tried one option after another until suddenly Adler noticed a tile that moved. To save him, Adler gave him his bag to place in his spot and escape before being trapped. He did so successfully, breaking the room's floor, solving the puzzle, and escaping through the corridor. They all followed the same path and finally reached a wall with numerous hieroglyphs. Adler began translating the text carved on the central stone. While reading, his flashlight hit the statue's eyes and suddenly a mummy awakened. Kere extended her hands as if declaring war and an attack, but no one felt anything. However, Claire began to fear and recall the visions she had seen of the fire falling from the celestial stone. At that moment, Adler solved the riddle and decided to move the stone in front of them. Underneath it, they found a path and began descending unbeknownst to them. Someone was watching from the other side. As they entered the tomb, they were captivated by its beauty, the statues and the sarcophagus at the center of the room. They approached the sarcophagus and found a statue protecting the body. When they removed the lid, they finally found the princess they had been searching for. Surprisingly, Master Tan lifted the princess's body, threw it disrespectfully to the ground, insulted her, and said there was something more important under her body. He declared that history would immortalize their names forever. He showed them the key of the sky, which they thought was just a mythical Egyptian tale. Master Tan revealed he always knew the key existed and was determined to use it to make history. When the key was inserted, the lower part of the sarcophagus opened, revealing another path. They descended further, with Master Tan proclaiming they must activate the treasure hidden near the princess's sarcophagus. This treasure would answer all their questions. Suddenly, they found themselves inside a maze. Rahet warned them it might be a maze of traps. Master Tan insisted that the more traps they faced, the closer they'd get to the treasure. Suddenly, the maze split them into 3 separate paths, and a massive door closed behind them. Master Tan decided to proceed alone without hesitation. Meanwhile, Livitz and Rahet faced a small gate leading downward. Adler stayed with Sarah and Claire, who was utterly terrified. Adler assured her that no pharaoh's trap was ever created without a way to escape it. He finally began reading the inscriptions on the wall using the lighter and found the lever that would open the door. With Sarah's help, the soldier managed to lift it and escape. However, at the same time, when Livitz and Rahet descended through the gate, they were confronted by the mummy. It pushed them down, and they all fell to the ground. Later, Sarah descended from the gate and was shocked to find the soldier lying lifeless. At that moment, Livitz attacked Adler, mistaking him for a ghost. He said that someone must have pushed him from above. Master Tan interrupted them, arriving from another part of the place. Unbothered by what was happening, his sole focus remained on finding the treasure. Suddenly, hieroglyphic drawings resembling a pyramid and stars began to light up. It seemed as though the shapes were aligning, signaling an impending moment of truth. As they proceeded, they entered a grand hall filled with mummified figures. Fear was evident on their faces. Master Tan felt closer than ever to his goal, unaware that the mummy was silently following them. Claire remarked that these were not humans, claiming they were victors of the ancient war between Osiris and the sect. As they passed through the mummies, Sarah became uneasy, feeling movement around her. Adler dismissed her concerns as imagination, or perhaps a mouse running around. Moments later, one of the mummies moved, grabbing Sarah by the neck. Adler tried to save her, but the mummy threw him aside. Adler picked up his gun and shot at the mummy's hands, freeing Sarah. Despite the shots, the mummy approached him. When Adler ran out of bullets, the mummy struck him, knocking him to the ground and slamming him repeatedly. Finally, Adler succumbed, and the group began to flee. Sarah discovered a hidden door that opened when a specific tile was pressed. However, the door began closing immediately, prompting her to scream for the others to hurry. Adler managed to enter, placing a stone to keep it open, but it shut behind him. Adler announced that Saeed had also died, pointing out that they lost someone at every passage. He warned that they might not escape alive, as the inscription on the entrance had foretold. Master Tan remained unaffected by these losses, insisting they had no choice but to continue. Sarah yelled at him, accusing him of being responsible for everyone's deaths. Livid supported her, revealing that Master Tan had killed Kalfawi for the Sky Key. A heated argument ensued, with accusations flying between Master Tan and Livitz. Sarah mentioned her mother accusing her father of her death and predicting a similar fate for herself. Ignoring her, Master Tan pressed forward, reaching a gate covered in hieroglyphic inscriptions. Adler was called upon to solve the puzzle and translate the text. Successfully opening the gate, Master Tan forcibly placed Sarah in a chair, acting on her father's orders. Adler attempted to intervene, but Adam, armed with a gun, shot at him. It was revealed that Sarah, being a descendant of the buried princess, was crucial for the ritual. Her blood was needed to activate the inheritance. Despite her struggles, Adam cut her hand, allowing her blood to drip onto the chair. Master Tan remarked that if her mother had complied, she would have been in this position instead. Sarah realized her father had orchestrated her mother's death. Suddenly, a pyramid appeared, emitting a blue light. The light began flowing into the mummies, reanimating them. A massive explosion erupted from the pyramid, prompting everyone to flee. The pyramid started collapsing. Adler managed to escape with Sarah just as the structure fell apart. To this day, they remain uncertain about Master Tan's intentions and whether he achieved his goal. In the end, a strange insect emerged, hinting at a looming catastrophe. And here concludes the story of our movie. Stay tuned for new videos and summaries. Goodbye!